Right, so what we got here is a Yamaha 5 horsepower margarita mixer that came off a sailboat. And these things are always treated like the stepchilds of the sailor because they just dangle on the back of the railing and then they're not looked at for like a year or so. And then he throws it onto the back of his dinghy and wants to go somewhere and wonders why the darn thing doesn't start. Of course, he just saved a lot of money by putting some 87 octane ethanol fuel in the thing because it's a lot cheaper. And then the whole stuff turns into something that resembles deck stain and not fuel, like that stuff here. And it gums up the carb, and yeah, and there you got it. And then you end up stripping the thing down, cleaning the carburetor up and all that good stuff, just because people thought it would be a good idea to run it on ethanol fuel and then hang it up for a year. Doesn't really work that way. So now I'm going to get some you end up stripping that sucker down. They've changed on the newer 4-strokes, they've changed this whole thing, the whole setup here, and you can actually get at those nuts and bolts that hold the carburetor on real easy. On this one, not so much. But Surgeon Mike, there we go. This is going to be a boring video. And the fuel lines of these guys, they get hard as glass with that ethanol. The more modern, I think the more modern fuel lines, they're more silicon than rubber based, so they're not that bad. But these guys, so don't be surprised when you do this yourself and you snap, literally break off a fuel line. It is not that uncommon. And there we go. There's the little culprit. Now I'm gonna have to, and there's that deck stain stuff. It's really sticky. Yum. So I'm gonna have to reposition you guys so you can see what's going on. that is just, if you do this carefully, you can actually do that without destroying every gasket that you come across. If something is a little bit sticky, soak it for a little while. This one stayed intact. The reed valves in here, they look okay. Yep, they're closing and opening. You can hear the ticker. So let me put you in a different perspective here. Now, there's a whole bunch of ways to skin this cat. What we'll do is we'll take apart. Yeah, that is not fuel that's in there anymore. Doesn't even smell of gas anymore. So, yep, let's strip that puppy down. I believe it's been sitting for 2 years. And another gasket that we didn't manage to destroy. Yeah, there's all sorts of crap in this bowl. There. Now what I do, maybe not many of you guys have got that, I've got a ultrasonic cleaner. So I just strip this lot down, throw it into that, and that will do the cleaning for me. But you can get yourself a can of brake clean or carburetor cleaner and just squirt that stuff around. There's the float pin. There's the float. And its needle valve here, they like to stick as well. This part of it actually isn't too bad. Now we come to the bit that usually gets gummed up pretty good, which is your jet. Now usually I use compressed air for this, but because you guys are here and I don't want to make that noise with a compressor in here, and I can't hear myself talk, I'm going to use some. Oh, yeah, that hole looks a lot bigger now. You can also get, where have I got them? These little brushes and awls in different diameters for larger carburetors, and I've got some floating around for the really small stuff as well. somewhere, not that they are needed for this one. And then there's another one in here. Now these sometimes, as this one, refuse to come out. Before you ruin them, this one is actually okay. Yep. Yeah, this one doesn't look too bad. Now when I throw this lot into a ultrasonic cleaner for the small parts, I've got a glass jar, and they go in there. Fuel pump. On a lot of engines, the fuel pumps are separate to the carburetor, not actually attached to it like here. They work with the principle of the membrane in here that goes back and forth with the, being a two-smoke engine. And there's some little flutter valves in that thing. And this guy is like everything else on here is stuck. There we go. And there's the spring for the... That still moves. That's good. We can just leave this guy assembled then. Leave the screws in there so we don't get them mixed up with the shorter ones that hold the bolt on. There's your spring. There's your little flutter valves. And that's going to stay on because I don't want to break this part. These valves here allow the fuel to go only in one direction. There's another set in there. And then we have another jet. And none of these are adjustable. The small one that I took out, this guy here, that is for your idle. And that one actually adjusts. These are fixed bore jets. This one hasn't got a bore anymore, there's dirt in that. And that could explain why this puppy wasn't running. Here's the smallest one, there we go. Sherlock. that's still closed. Let the cleaner do its thing. That's not too bad. There's some corrosion here on the inlet, but I've seen worse. There's your idle, your throttle, idle adjust. Yeah, that'll do. Now this whole bunch, minus the float. We'll go into the ultrasonic cleaner in a minute. Once that thing is heated up, I run it at 50 degrees and it's not too hot in here, so it's going to take about an hour. I should have switched that on earlier on. There you go. You don't have to wait that hour. Show you what the thing looks like. I'm just going to grab you. And there. Temperature here. It's warming up now. Timer there. And then you just got some degreaser solution in there and in the basket. And everything just gets slung in that thing. And then stay in there for 15 minutes. Dry it off with some compressed air. And then we can put it back together. Simple as that. There you go. See you later. Okay, one thing, or a couple of things. What really, you don't need any specialized tools for stripping down a carb. One of these and one of them, and a couple of smaller screwdriver, maybe a pick or two. But what really helps on all sorts of engine works is these. It's not just for taking your appendix out or brain surgery or whatnot, but you will drop little nuts and stuff into the cowling of an engine sooner or later. And as a lot of that stuff on outboards is stainless steel, is not magnetic, so you can fish with a magnet all you want, it ain't gonna happen. So these little guys in different sizes, they come in really handy. And some of them, they've got this little bend to them, and others are straight. And yeah, I think you can pick up a set of these things for about 10 bucks. Money well spent. Same goes with these if you're doing larger carburetors for cleaning up jets and stuff. They come in handy. And I've got a couple of, they come in a little flat pack, which are the sizes below these. They're actually used for oxyacetylene nozzles to clean them up, but they work for carburetor jets and stuff like that as well, or any pokey bits that you need to clean up. So there you go. And if your eyesight isn't the best anymore like mine, one of them comes in handy, and that's all you need, really. Yeah, most of this goes for small engines or engines in general, not just for 5 horsepower outboards. So it's really very, very generic. If you can strip one of these down, you can strip down a, I don't know, your lawnmower or ride-on mower or whatever you got. It's all pretty much the same thing. It's the working part that's different. So that's it, really. This place looks a mess. Have a good one.